Now, this story right here is going to make your blood boil, all right? Gregory Bovino, ICE, they have been doing so much work over here in Chicago, putting in so much work, wrangling up hundreds, if not thousands of illegal immigrants and getting them ready to be shipped back out of the country, all right? But we have a radical judge that wants to release some of these arrests. They want to detainees. They want to release these illegal immigrants back into the community because they weren't nice enough when they arrested them. But before we get to that part, Gregory Bovino and some of ICE are actually set to leave Chicago very, very soon. So not only are they planning on moving the operation other places, but we have a judge saying we're going to undo all the work you just did. Crazy, man. It's what's going on in Chicago is treason in my opinion.
A major part of Operation Midway Blitz may be wrapping up. Multiple sources now saying federal immigration agents and their commander, Gregory Bovino, are preparing to leave Chicago. This as Bovino and the governor continue to face off about immigration enforcement in Little Village. That's where WGN's Winnie Dorch is live with the story. Winnie?
Good afternoon. Well, it has been confirmed Bovino and his team will be leaving Chicago in the coming days, but ICE presence will remain here in the city and the surrounding area. I want you to take a look behind me. Chicago community members gathered as early as 6 a.m. here near 26th and South Troy. After hearing Bovino would possibly be in the neighborhood today, they say their message is clear. They don't want Bovino here.
So they were calling on our brothers and sisters to come out and show their resistance in a peaceful way, in a non-violent way, and we're definitely going to blow the whistle on them, and we're going to make sure that Bovino hears us loud and clear that he's not welcome in the city, and not only here in Little Village, but also in the north side, like Bellman Craig and Rogers Park and Lincoln Park, and on the south side, like back of the yards, Gates Park. Everybody needs to be on alert.
Yeah, safe haven for illegals, huh?
To be out here until 6 this evening to ensure residents feel some sort of security. Faith leaders joining arms this morning as well. They worship, prayed, and protest in the middle of the street. It appears police were not aware of this event. However, officers shut down West 26th Street between South Troy and Albany.
I don't know if they'll talk about it here in this video, but I've also heard that police are refusing to help ICE as well. But yeah, the police over here in Chicago are corrupt, and now they won't even help out ICE agents.
Today, I'm here with a message of peace and prayer to Commander Bovino of the U.S. Border Patrol. That only God has the right, sir, to destroy families. Your hate and racism has no place in the United States of America.
What?
Because we are American families, and we want to be treated with respect and dignity. And to all our politicians across this nation, I send you a message as a person of faith. Our families are not for negotiation, and we need a humanitarian legalization for all.
In a social media post, Bovino extended an invitation to Governor J.B. Pritzker to join him here in Little Village today. The two have gone back and forth on X. There is a photo circulating online of Bovino and his agents posing in front of the Bean downtown, which is a Chicago landmark.
And I heard Brandon Johnson reached out to the United Nations and asked for help against ICE. I don't know what is going on in Chicago. Can we just get rid of it? Can we just eliminate it from our country and just consider it a foreign terrorist state, I guess? I don't know what to do with Chicago, man.
Chimed in saying Bovino
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Are not trying to make Chicago safer. Instead, he says they are posing for photo ops and creating reality TV moments. Bovino responds saying their goal is to rid the community of criminals and zero in on what they call a corrupt system. For 2 months now, Bovino has been leading the Trump administration Operation Midway Blitz here in the city and the surrounding suburbs. Protesters, clergy, journalists, and citizens have all been met with tear gas and pepper balls. Bovino was even been ordered to appear before a judge to answer questions about his agent's excessive force tactics. While the Broadview Processing Center is where most of the demonstrations have taken place, tension in Little Village continues to rise. During immigration enforcement operations in Little Village on Saturday, DHS claimed shots were fired at Border Patrol agents and objects including bricks and a paint can were thrown. However,
all they show is ICE defending themselves. They never show the part where somebody throws something at them or people are ramming them with their vehicles or, you know, shooting at them. They only show after the fact where ICE has to defend themselves. Now, I watched another video earlier and they said that Gregory Bovino is going somewhere else. Operation Blitz, Midway Blitz is still continuing. It's just he's not going to be there anymore. And there's still going to be like 200 ICE agents still in Chicago manning the fort. So they're still going to be doing their thing, still functioning as they were. But Gregory Bovino is going to be moved elsewhere. We don't know where yet. And he's not taking the whole force with him. It's probably just some of them that are going with them. But they got a whole country. A whole country is in a mess. So he's got to start, you know, doing other operations elsewhere. But they're good in Chicago. They just got to defend themselves and make sure they don't get shot. But ICE is not. They're not slowing down. They're gonna continue and keep on going. Now that this is happening, we have a radical activist judge who wants to now release a bunch of illegal immigrants because the way they were arrested wasn't peaceful enough, wasn't done correctly.
A federal judge is weighing whether he can grant relief to hundreds of immigrants who attorneys argue were unlawfully detained by ICE and Border Patrol, this during Operation Midway Blitz. Our investigative reporter Mark Rivera joins us now. He's got all the details on this. Mark?
Ravi, U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Cummings is considering the release of hundreds of immigrants from federal custody. Attorneys arguing there have been thousands of people arrested in violation of a federal consent decree in the Chicago area. One of those arrests, attorneys argue, was just last week at a daycare on the north side. It happened November 5th at the Reito del Sol daycare on Chicago's north side. Witness video reviewed by the ABC 7i team showed Diana Santiana Galeano, a teacher at the school, violently dragged from the building as she tells agents in Spanish that she has papers, then placed into a vehicle while surrounded by federal agents. Her arrest sparking community outrage.
We had masked ICE agents following a daycare educator into the daycare, where there were parents, there were children.
DHS claims.
Now, come on, man. We have debunked this story from top to bottom. We know that this woman was in a car with another man. The man was driving. ICE attempted to pull them over, right? They attempted to pull them over. And instead of pulling over, they fled. They fled to this daycare center. They got out of the car and tried to run inside. The man went deeper inside the daycare center. The woman was grabbed there at the door. She didn't make it anywhere in there, right? So they grabbed her and put her in the car and they're asking her, who's that guy, right? And she says she picked him up from a bus stop and allowed him to drive her car, which is a total lie. We understand that, but like, what? And then you have the mainstream media telling us like, oh, they violently grabbed her in front of all the children. She's sitting there reading a book, reading a book to the kids. And they just went in there, stuck a gun in her face and violently dragged her out of the building. Like, come on, man. I don't even think there were kids in the building yet. This was early in the morning, right? And I still can't even figure out if she's actually a teacher there or not, because we have so many conflicting stories. What I know is that they didn't pull over. They ran to this daycare center and they fled inside of it, putting all these children in danger. Why did they think they just thought they were going to go in this daycare center and ICE wasn't going to go in after them? Come on, man. We don't even know any information about the guy. If he's a criminal, an illegal alien, we don't know anything about him. There's just so much conflicting information. But again, this is one of those stupid stories. And now we got an activist judge saying, let's go ahead and let her go.
She fled a traffic stop and ran into the daycare. Galeano's attorney claiming in court those agents arrested her, quote, without a warrant in violation of the Castellón Nava consent decree. National Immigrant Justice Center attorney Mark Fleming, lead attorney on the Castañón Nava case, says this is just one of potentially thousands of people who could have been arrested unlawfully.
As we're digging into it, are very concerned that many, if not most, are violations of our consent decree.
Fleming said those numbers are now estimated at more than 3,000 people, and the list continues to grow.
We've started to dig in to the case files that they produce to us, and the vast majority are violations. If they did not have a prior order of removal, in almost all circumstances, they've been uniformly violating the consent decree.
Last month, Judge Cummings ruled federal agents had violated the 2022 Castañón Nava consent decree, and that's what triggered this review of people potentially deserving relief, including release into electronic monitoring programs.
The bargain was, if you violate this, the individual be eligible for release.
There's not an obvious answer here.
ABC 7 chief legal analyst Gil Sofer says it may not be that simple.
In the plaintiff's favor, they have the language in the consent decree, which empowers the court to exercise really almost any equitable power. On the other side, there's a statute that makes it very difficult for the district court, federal district court, to require the government to take or not take any action in the immigration.
So what he's saying here is like, does the judge even have the power to have this agreement with them? Like, so the judge just signs a piece of paper, he demands whatever, and then ICE has no choice but to follow it, because apparently the judges are kings in our country now. The judges rule everything. They have infinite power. These lower court judges that only handle traffic tickets and a bunch of nonsense, they are the overlords of our planet Earth, apparently. They can boss the president around. They run the executive branch. They can do whatever they want. This is crazy, man. And y'all are talking about no kings. You're judges. These corrupt judges are the damn kings. So then it's like, well, what are they going to do? Is the judge even going to wait? Is he just going to say, well, okay, I sign here, we need them released, and then they're just released out into the public, and then ICE has to go wrangle them all up all over again? What a nasty headache, man. I can't stand what's going on in our country. God bless these ICE agents, Donald Trump, the administration, our federal government, doing everything they can, and then these state and local governments just spitting all over them, just wiping their feet with the Constitution. It's disgusting, man. They have taken over our country, and it is just, they're out of control. These are the dangers of the Constitution, you know? They give too much power to the judges, and this is where we're at. The judges think they rule everything. No consequences, no checks and balances. Where's the checks and balances for the judges? They seem to just have all the power to check the government, the president and the executive branch, but we don't see anybody checking the judges. This is where things are just getting too out of control, man.